Hi, I'm Hannah Pike with the Oklahoman.
And my name is Barrett Bray. I'm an auctioneer with Bray Auctions here in Oklahoma City.
And we're here because Barrett just won the International Auctioneer Championship in Florida. So can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes, absolutely. It was, it's an unbelievable honor to be the 2018 International Champion. Most people are a little bit surprised when I tell them that auction competitions are actually a thing. It's a little bit outside of the normal for what people would normally expect. But I'm the current Oklahoma State champion. So myself and many other champions and individuals from across the nation and across the world came in for the international competition in Jacksonville. It was held during the National Auctioneer Association's conference and show last week. And the International Auctioneer Championship, the IAC, took place on Friday. It was an all-day event, started about 6 a.m. and went till about 9 o'clock at night. It consisted of, I think there were just a little over 60 male competitors that came in from around the world this year. And after an initial preliminary bid calling round where we are introducing ourselves, talking to the crowd, selling items that are there provided for us, then they take the top 15, and that top 15 goes into an interview portion where they ask you 3 questions that are related to the industry and to the association. And then those 15 of us also went in for the final bid calling round, which was similar to the preliminaries.
I have 2 more outstanding items to sell to you tonight, starting with lot number 814A. This is a tower air purifier, keeping your air odor-free, HEPA fresh, and HEPA pure. Selling it right now. I'm going to give you $250 on it. I'm going to get 2.5 and a bid at 10, 25, 10 to 125, and now 35, and now 50, now 75, and now 100. Bid at 75, 100, 75 and a $100 bid, and now 125, and now 150, 125 and a 150, 125 and a $150 bid, and a bid at 125. On my left, I'm bidded at 125, 135, 125, 135. Auctioneers, we all know that the items we take in on consignment aren't always the freshest and don't always smell the best. Save your olfactory sense and save your allergies and put this thing to work. And I bid it at 1 1/4, 135, and I bid it at 125, 35, and you get 135, 125, 135, and now 150, 135 and 150, 135 and 1 1/2, and I bid it at 135, 150. Are we done? Bid it at 135, 150. I sold it. $135 all the way over there. Ron, what's that number?
What got you interested in auctioneering?
You know, I'm a 10th year auction professional.
Okay.
And it was one of those things that I kind of tripped and fell into. It wasn't anything that I ever thought about growing up, but I had an opportunity to step into a position as an auctioneer, and I fell in love with it. It ended up being a good fit for me. It kind of took all the things that I loved to do and rolled them all into one career. So, you know, I'm able to deal with people and help my clients solve problems that they have. Most people hear auctioneer and they think, that guy talks fast.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, as fun as that is, that's only about 10% of the overall industry. Most of what I do is helping people solve problems, whether that happens to be with liquidating assets, or they're ready to sell a home or a piece of commercial real estate, or they may find themselves in a difficult life situation where they may have a loved one who's passed away, or dealing with personal issues where they know that they need to move something and that they're not sure exactly how to sell that stuff. So I go in and I'm able to provide some different options for them. And being able to be an advocate and a helper in that way is really what made me fall in love with the industry.
Cool. So it said kind of in the press release I read that a lot of people are 2nd or 3rd generation auctioneers. Does it tend to be a family business?
It does tend to be a family business. Most auctioneers that I know are, they got into it because of their family. I'm a 1st generation auctioneer. Actually, my in-laws are also in the auction business. So I guess if my kids decide to do it, they can consider themselves 3rd generation. They can take a little bit from both sides. But it does tend to be a family business. And most of the people that competed in the auction competition, they typically do it for, it's usually a long run. Most of the guys that I know, I'm one of only 31 in the world who has ever won this honor. And the vast majority of the other champions competed from anywhere from 6 to up to 10 years in a row to get to a point where they were able to win it. I am so thankful to say I am the only IAC champion who went in as a first-time competitor and a first-time attendee of the conference and show to walk away with the trophy.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you've all been waiting for. the 2018 Men's Division International Champion Auctioneer is from Oklahoma, Barrett Bray.
How did you get ready for the competition?
That is a great question. I've built some relationships through the National Association with some past champions. And I was able to reach out to them and tell them, hey, I'm competing. I want to make sure that I know exactly what is going to work best for this. Can you give me a little bit of coaching? I've got a wonderful friend named Beth Rose out of Ohio, a gentleman named Peter Garris, and several other people that have competed and won in the past. And I was able to kind of bounce some ideas off of them. But really, the best preparation that I could have was just relaxing and having fun with it. The nerves, the jitteriness that some guys get when they get up on stage, that's the enemy in any sort of competition. So I wanted to make sure that as a first-time competitor, I wanted to represent myself in the best version of me. So, so the biggest preparation was just that deep breathing and keeping in my head, this is fun and this is a wonderful opportunity. And to be able to do that and keep that mentality, that was the best thing that I was able to do to prepare.
Yeah. So now that you've won, how do you get to kind of be a spokesperson for auctioneers?
That is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. I am, for the next year, it's kind of like Miss America.
Yeah.
Which is funny to say. But I'm considered an ambassador for the auction industry, nationally and internationally for the rest of the year. So I'm already booked to judge the state competitions and speak about our industry at different state associations. I'll be traveling to Tennessee in December. I'm heading up to the Missouri Championship here in just a few weeks. I'm going to Ohio after the first of the year. I'm also going to be working as a committee member on our conference and show team for next year. So I'm flying out to New Orleans here in a couple of weeks to start preparing for next year's conference and next year's competition. The best thing that I can imagine doing, and the biggest honor that I'm going to have as this year's champion, there is a yearly fun auction that is held in Memphis, Tennessee, at St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital.
Yeah.
So in October, I will fly into Memphis, spend somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000 on toys, and the children who are patients there at St. Jude's will be given play money. And we will put on a fun auction where the kids can use their play money to buy toys there on the there at the campus of St. Jude's. So to be able to have an opportunity like that, to reach out and to use what I do for a living and what I've really made my career about, to somehow impact these kids that are going to be going through whatever they're going through, things that I can't even begin to understand. But to be able to be that encouragement for them and to promote the industry at the same time is just an unbelievable opportunity and a great, great honor that I'm looking forward to.
So what made you want to start your business?
You know, I've had a drive inside of me for a long time. I come from a family that has a little bit of an entrepreneurial spirit, and I've always wanted to start my own business. I'll say that the biggest drive in me is I see that there are some changes and some growth within the auction industry that have not been really best utilized within this market. We've got some technological advances and some different options, such as online-only auctions and using some different marketing practices, taking advantage of digital marketing, social media marketing, that really haven't been taken advantage of by other auctioneers in this area quite as much.
Yeah.
So knowing and seeing that there was a sect within the industry that I felt like wasn't being addressed quite as properly as a service to my clients as I felt like there could be, I decided that you know, I wanted to be the one to be able to make that change. And to make the auctions a little bit better, to make sure that for my clients they have better marketing and that they're able to get their assets out in front of interested parties. The auction industry is a little bit different in that I'm not just providing a service and I'm not just providing an asset. It's, you know, it's half service, but it's also half sales. So I have to keep a mentality on I'm working for my clients, but I'm also working for my customers as well. I'm kind of caught in the middle of the thing, and just knowing that I felt like there wasn't as good of a job being done for that in Oklahoma, I decided that it was up to me to make the change and trying to make that better within this market.
Very cool. What year did it open?
I just launched in January of this year. So like I said, I've been an auctioneer for the last 10 years, and I've had the opportunity to be very, very well entrenched into the business. But I stepped away at the end of 2017, and we officially launched Bray Auctions in January of 2018. So so we're you know, starting any business is a grind, and it's about moving forward and really keeping a focus of exactly what you want to do and why you're doing it. So, and to have this opportunity and to have the honor of winning the championship, I know that that's a little bit of an encouragement and a validation that, okay, I'm on the right path, and I know I'm doing the right thing. So
you talked a little bit about how you're thinking about the customer and also about the person you're working for. How do you kind of balance that? You know, I always say that my job for my client is to do the best job that I can to market their assets. The auction industry is your simple economics class that the first one that you ever took. Supply and demand. If I have an asset, my job is to make sure that that demand goes up, and that is by getting it in front of as many people as I can. Whether that is a home that is being sold, whether that is a bulldozer or a backhoe that we're selling, whether it's a business liquidation, my job is to understand the marketing process of auctions. So my job for my client is to make sure that their assets are marketed in a way that is best understood by the customers. My job for my customers is to make sure that things are very clear, very upfront, and very honest. I want to make sure that no matter what, everybody has a complete understanding of what I do from both sides of the table before we start moving forward. I saw that you have an AMM affiliation, a BAS affiliation. What do those mean? Within the National Auctioneers Association, the association has different special education that they give out to auctioneers who are interested in taking advantage of that. They call them designations, and once you have completed the coursework and gone through it's about spending quite a bit of time in class to learn the inside aspects and segments of the industry. But there's also work that has to be done apart from that. So it's learn it, now do it. And when you complete all of the requirements, you're able to earn designations that segment you into what your niche is within the industry. The auction industry is very, very vast. You know, there's auctioneers that specialize only in fundraising and benefit situations for nonprofits. There's auctioneers that specialize only in real estate. There's auctioneers that specialize only in commercial industrial assets. And there's auctioneers who don't even auction, but they are on the back end of things, dealing with marketing and dealing with you know, understanding of being able to promote the things. So I've had the honor of earning 2 designations through the National Auctioneers Association, one of which is Auction Marketing Management. So I'm considered a specialist in marketing assets and how to best put the information in front of people, whether that be what I call analog advertising through newspapers and direct mail platforms, and also digital advertising through social media marketing and email marketing and everything that goes through search engine marketing and everything that goes along with that. The other designation that I've received is I'm a benefit auction specialist. So I've had the opportunity to work with some of the largest nonprofits nationwide, and I do some specialization in working for those nonprofits and making sure that in their fundraising efforts at their yearly gala or whatever event they put on, I step in as an advocate for them and make sure that we are best representing that organization, but also making sure that we push things to the top and make sure that they're able to raise as much money as possible through their donors. The third designation that I am actually going to be completing, it's called the Certified Auctioneers Institute. It's a 3-year program that is held on the campus of Indiana University in Bloomington, Indiana. I started in 2017. I finished my 2nd year in March of this year, and this coming March I will be a certified auctioneer from the institute that goes along with there. The National Association typically refers to that as the emphasis of a master's degree in the auction industry. So I'm very, very excited. That is the highest designation that any auctioneer nationally can hold, and I'm very, very excited to get that completed up this next year. What made you want to just enter the competition in general? When I stepped into my business, I've had the opportunity through the designations and through the extra involvement with the National Association
to be able to jump in with things. When I started my company, I wanted to make sure that I was a representative of our state association as well as the national association. So in February was our Oklahoma State Auction Association's winter conference. And I went there for some continuing education and to speak with some different auctioneers and you know, make sure everybody understood what position I was taking within the industry. And they made an announcement at the conference saying we're accepting applications for the Oklahoma State Auctioneers competition for the next 5 minutes. If anybody would like to jump in, then you need to do it. And I smiled as a mentor of mine, a gentleman named Whitey Mason, who is a nationally known auctioneer, good friend of mine. He leaned to me and he said, "You're entering the competition." And I said, "No, I'm not. I've never done an auction competition. I've never seen an auction competition." And he told me, "Yes, you are. I'm making you do it." So he shoved me in, and I entered the competition. I decided to have fun with it. Well, I won the Oklahoma State Auction Championship this year. So as the Oklahoma State champion, I felt like it was important for me to represent Oklahoma on a national and on an international level. So that is why I made the decision to go to Jacksonville and to compete in the international competition and do that this year. And to be able to walk away and to bring the championship to Oklahoma, I think I am the third Oklahoman in history to ever win the international championship. And the last one was, somewhere around 20 years ago, something like that. So to be able to bring that back to Oklahoma and to represent our state in that way, and you know, just to be able to move forward within the industry with that trophy on my back was a great honor, and I'm so glad that I made the decision to move forward with it.
So now that you've won, can you win again? Can you keep doing it, or
no,
is that the
end?
It's
unfortunately that's the worst thing about winning your first year, because I've got many friends that I was able to stand on stage with. In fact, my reserve champion, the first runner-up, the second place guy, is one of my best friends in the world, and he's out of Ohio. So, but I mean, we stay in touch throughout the year, and to be able to stand next to him, I know that he's competed 4, 5, 6 years doing this, and it really is a brotherhood. These guys, we're competitors and we want to beat each other, but it really turns into a thing that everybody becomes best friends and encourages each other. And that's what I will say about the auction industry. We really are a family, and I've never seen another industry or another career field that has that sort of mentality, that everybody wants to help each other and push them forward. So, but that is the only thing about winning as a first-time competitor, and the only one to ever do that is that now I don't get to go back and compete again. But I will be there running the competition next year, and will be on the board from this point forward, moving on and helping with the competition and encouraging other guys to step in and really throw their hat in the ring, because it's not about winning. It's about building those relationships, and it's about having an opportunity to showcase yourself and to stand with pride about what we do as a job in helping other people and doing that stuff. So unfortunately I won't be able to compete again, but I do look forward to be involved with the IAC in the future. Very
cool. Okay, can you show us some bid calling?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to practice? Do you want me to teach you?
Sure.
Okay, all right. So here's I'm going to give you our standard increments of 5.
Okay.
And we'll go from there. So get this palm out right here, and give me a $5 bid.
5.
Say $5 bid.
$5 bid.
Now 10.
Now 10.
Would you give 10?
Would you give 10?
All right, and that's going to be your basic chant.
Okay.
Now we're going to take it there, and I want you to move to this side, and we'll go $10 bid.
$10 bid.
Now 15.
Now 15.
Would you give 15?
Would you give 15?
And it goes from there. So let's start again. Say it with me. $5 bid. Now 10. Would you give 10? $10 bid. Now 15. Would you give 15? And that you do that over and over and over. And that turns into 25, and I bid it at 30. Now 35, and you get 35, and I bid it at 40, 45, and you give a $50 bid. And now 55, and I bid it at 50. Here, 55, $60, and now 75, and 100. 75, and 100, and now 125, and you get 1 1/4, and a half, and now 175, 200. 175, and I bid it at 200, but you give a $200 bid. 175, 85. Last call. Sold it. $175 to Miss Hannah Pike right here.
Ah, great.
That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I think that's about all we have. Thank you so much for joining me.
I'm so happy to be here, and I'd love to say if anybody is interested in auction services, you can always find me at my website. It's bidbray.com. We're with Bray Auctions, and our phone number is 405-888-5366.
Cool.
Thank you, Hannah. I appreciate it.